The Amorite king Hammurabi founded the short-lived Old Babylonian Empire in the 18th century BC. He built Babylon into a major city and declared himself its king. Southern Mesopotamia became known as Babylonia, and Babylon eclipsed Nippur as the region's holy city. The ancient city of Babylon was a city restored by Nebuchadrezzar, conquered by Cyrus in Mesopotamia, which is now modern-day Iraq. The city of Babylon is so well known to many due to the many references to it in the Bible, although none of them are particularly glowing comments. It is widely considered to be the cradle of civilization. The history of Babylon and the Babylonian Empire dates back thousands of years, and apart from its mentions in the Bible, Babylon is known for many things, including its impressive Ishtar Gate, magnificent walls and buildings, the belief that it was a great seat of culture and learning, and the potentially fantastical hanging gardens of Babylon built by Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife. Babylonians were polytheistic and worshipped a large pantheon of gods and goddesses. Some of the gods were state deities, like Marduk, the chief patron god of Babylon, who dwelled in a towering temple. Although some ancient sources say that Sargon of Akkad, also known as Sargon the Great, founded the city of Babylon, it is widely believed that Babylon was already founded prior to the reign of Sargon. Unfortunately, the ruins of Old Babylon have been lost to us since the water level has steadily risen over the years, and the ruins which are visible today date to over 1,000 years after the city was founded. The known history of Babylon begins with its most famous king, Hammurabi, who is best known for his law code. As per Islamic text, according to later Muslim writings, Idris was born in Babylon, a city in present-day Iraq. Before he received the revelation, he followed the rules revealed to Prophet Seth, the son of Adam. When Idris grew older, God bestowed prophethood on him. During his lifetime, all the people were not yet Muslims. Also, the legend of Harut and Maru are first mentioned in the Quran as two angels purveying evil in Babylon, and the legend probably appeared to explain how they happened to be in that position. The story itself parallels a Jewish legend about the fallen angels Shemazai, Uzzah, and Azael. The Quran indicates that they were a trial for the people, and through them the people were tested with sorcery. The sins of Babylon, by the spirit of life, are referred to these two heads, fornications and abominations. She allureth the spirit of the creature into a strange bed, and there it acts filthily and abominably with this strange spirit. In Jewish tradition, Babylon symbolizes an oppressor against which righteous believers must struggle. In Christianity, Babylon symbolizes worldliness and evil. Prophecies sometimes symbolically link the kings of Babylon with Lucifer. Why is Babylon important in the Bible? Babylon was a historical empire that conquered much of the known world and played a major role in the history of Israel in the Old Testament. It was the Babylonian Empire, under King Nebuchadnezzar, that first invaded the southern kingdom of Judah in 605 BC, taking many of its people captive in the years that followed. The city of Jerusalem would eventually fall to Babylon in 586 BC. King Nebuchadnezzar is also the king we read about in the book of Daniel, and the one whose dreams Daniel divinely interpreted. In one of his dreams, King Nebuchadnezzar was given a vision of a large statue with a head made of gold, a chest and arms of silver, a belly and thighs of bronze, and feet made partly of iron and clay. Daniel revealed that this vision related to the four world empires that would eventually overtake each other in succession. These world powers would become Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. True to Nebuchadnezzar's vision, the Babylonian Empire would soon fall to the Persian Empire in 539 BC. The Greeks would eventually defeat Persia. Rome would overtake Greece. Some biblical scholars have also concluded that the four empires of Nebuchadnezzar's dream make up four of the seven kingdoms, or kings, described in Revelation 17. The seven heads are seven mountains upon which the woman sits, and they are seven kings. 5 have fallen, one is, the other has not yet come, and when he comes he must remain for a little while. Egypt and Assyria, in addition to Babylon, Persia, and Greece, are the 5 world empires that had fallen by the time Revelation was written. Rome, the ruling power when John was exiled to Patmos, was the current kingdom. The final kingdom, the one that has not yet come, points to a last global empire, or one world government, that will exist for a limited time under the dominion of Satan's human puppet, the Antichrist, also referred to as the beast in Revelation, before Christ's return. For several reasons, the name Babylon is given to a prophesied world empire, the last and most powerful in world history. We know from history that the actual Babylonian Empire was considered one of the ancient world's greatest intellectual, cultural, and religious centers. Settled along the Euphrates River in present-day Iraq, Babylon was known for its laws, religion, and architectural wonders, including the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. In the Bible, however, Babylon is regarded as a symbol of evil, pagan worship, and man's hubris. It was the cultural epicenter of everything set against the God of Israel. Many believe that the Babylon of Revelation represents one final world empire that seeks to rule as God in his place. It will be the kingdom of Satan's last stand. Like the ancient Babylon from which it gets its name, the Babylon of end times will be a godless, cruel, totalitarian society in which the Antichrist rules as its supreme leader. Whether the Babylon of the end times becomes the name of an actual city is unknown. Some believe that a literal city near the Euphrates will become the capital of the Antichrist's earthly kingdom. Others have linked the prophesied Babylon to Rome or Jerusalem. Some have even wondered if America could become the Babylon of end times. In any case, the Babylon of Revelation will undoubtedly be the center of the Antichrist's secular kingdom. Its sole agenda will be to wage war against the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ. What is the whore of Babylon? The whore is associated with the beast of Revelation by connection with an equally evil kingdom. The word whore can also be translated metaphorically as idolatress. The whore's apocalyptic downfall is prophesied to take place in the hands of the image of the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. The whore of Babylon is the spirit of seductive culture, actively engaged in the deception and destruction of God's people. That she rides upon the beast means she is propped up by the forces of anti-Christian government. Just like the beast, who was, and is not and is about to rise, the whore keeps on rising from the dead. A particular brand of her seductive charm may fall into the dust and be buried by the sands of time, but just you wait. Before you know it, she will rise again in another place, known by another name but waging the same destructive war against God's covenant people. The woman was clothed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold, precious stones, and pearls, holding in her hand a gold cup full of abominations and of the unclean things of sexual immorality. As it was in the past, so shall it be in the future. What does the whore of Babylon represent? Like many aspects of Revelation, what exactly the whore of Babylon represents has been debated by theologians for centuries. However, suppose we hold that Babylon is the name given to the Antichrist's totalitarian one-world government. In that case, the whore of Babylon should be seen as a metaphor to describe the kind of worldview, belief system, and false religion that seduces and deceives the entire unredeemed world in the last days. As harlotry is often used in the Bible to describe idolatry and spiritual adultery, the whore of Babylon describes the most blasphemous, abominable form of idolatry and false religion in world history. She will be the mother of harlots and the pervasive worldview that deceives countless unredeemed souls during the Great Tribulation period. What can we learn from the whore of Babylon? Although the true nature of the whore of Babylon will be revealed in time, there are several details about her and her influence that Christians in all ages should be aware of. Her influence over humanity will be universal. Remember the verse about the whore of Babylon, calling her the great prostitute who sits on many waters. In ancient times, great cities were often settled near water sources. Babylon was no exception. In fact, the prophet Jeremiah referred to Babylon as "you who live by many waters." In Revelation, however, the harlot who sits by many waters may not refer to her literal geography. Rather, the angel tells John that the waters which you saw where the prostitute sits are people and multitudes, and nations and languages. Like the city of Babylon that sits by many waters, the woman's influence over the world will be universal. People from every corner of the world will be seduced by her promises, deceived into partaking in her abominations. Little will they know what flows from her waters will be poisonous. Her religion will be mainstream, with whom the kings of the earth committed acts of sexual immorality, and those who live on the earth will become drunk with the wine of her sexual immorality. The whore of Babylon's influence over all peoples will be vast. She will intoxicate countless deceived souls. However, this will not be an obscure religion or religion only of the masses. Prominent world leaders, celebrities, and public figures will become the priests, prophets, and pastors for her perversions and abominations. The belief system she represents will not be on the fringes of society. It will be mainstream and celebrated. She will make herself attractive to the world. The woman was clothed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold, precious stones, and pearls, holding in her hand a gold cup full of abominations and of the unclean things of sexual immorality. As prostitutes often adorn themselves with fancy clothing, makeup, perfume, and jewelry to attract clients, the harlot of Babylon will make herself attractive to the world, promising false power, pleasures, and riches to those who associate with her. Though abominations and unclean things fill her cup, purple and scarlet, the colors of royalty and wealth, will mark her influence. Sadly, the unsaved and unredeemed will not see her abominations for what they are. Rather, they will partake in them with pride. She will target and threaten God's people. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the witnesses of Jesus. The false religion of the end times will set itself against the truth and anyone who speaks it, namely, the people of God who remain on the earth. Christians will be viciously slandered, defamed, and treated as enemies of the global religion and the Antichrist's one-world government. Accordingly, Christians will be seen as threats that must be silenced or, in many cases, eliminated. Martyrdom will be rampant under the whore of Babylon's influence. The Antichrist will eventually discard her. And the 10 horns which you say, and the beast, these will hate the prostitute and will make her desolate and naked, and will eat her flesh and burn her up with fire. Although the whore of Babylon's global influence will be extensive at the start, eventually, the Antichrist and his subordinates, the 10 horns, will cut off her influence. Once the Antichrist has convinced humanity to surrender their freedom and give him absolute governing power over every aspect of society, he will discard the false religion of the woman and establish himself as the only object of worship. Those who worship the woman will have served their purpose. The Antichrist will then soon have absolute loyalty and worship from his subjects. Christ alone will triumph. These will wage war against the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are the called and chosen and faithful. Although the Antichrist and the false religion of the woman of Babylon will wage war against the King of kings and his people, Christ alone will triumph in the end. Their power will eventually be cut off, and their kingdom will end. When that happens, Christ will return in all of his glory to establish his eternal kingdom, sit on his rightful throne, and rule beside those he calls his own. There are things we may never know about the ancient Babylon and its civilization, but one thing is for sure: Babylon became one of the most powerful cities and grew into one of the largest cities of the ancient world under the rule of Hammurabi. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.